Law enforcement officials are on high alert ahead of Saturday's rally demanding justice for those arrested in the January 6th Capitol riot. Last night, fencing went back up around the Capitol, and police officers from neighboring cities are being called in to assist Capitol Police. For more on the preparations, I want to bring in Nicole Sganga. She's a CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter. Hi there, Nicole. So CBS News has obtained a DHS intelligence bulletin reporting that they are aware of a small number of online threats referencing the rally. What can you tell us about those threats and how law enforcement officials are preparing?
Yeah, Elaine, you said it there. The Department of Homeland Security intelligence officials informing law enforcement partners today they're aware of a small number of recent online threats of violence connected to this Justice for J6 rally, including some online discussions encouraging violence the day before the rally, Friday. The bulletin produced by DHS's Office of Intelligence and Analysis assesses that some individuals involved in this rally planned for September 18th at Union Square, which is part of the Capitol in Washington, may seek to engage in violence, but they lack indications of a specific or credible plot associated with this event. But, according to the bulletin, social media users have discussed storming the U.S. Capitol on the night before the rally. Earlier this month, one user commented on kidnapping an identified member of Congress, according to the bulletin. Up to 700 people are expected to attend Saturday's rally in support of those who rioted at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, but that's a significantly smaller number than the tens of thousands we know came out that day to protest the 2020 presidential election outcome. Event organizers have also indicated to law enforcement they've received death threats from those opposed to this rally. DHS told law enforcement partners that Thursday. Intelligence officials have also noted to us that a counter rally is slated to take place on Saturday at Freedom Plaza. For those who don't know, that's close to the U.S. Capitol, so that raises the possibility of clashes between ideological opponents.
We'll be watching that closely. On a different topic, Nicole, while Customs and Border Protection just reported a slight drop in encounters at the southern border last month, the agency is dealing with the developing situation in Del Rio, Texas. Tell us about the thousands of undocumented migrants waiting for transportation there.
Yeah, we've seen reports of thousands of asylum-seeking migrants waiting under an international bridge in Del Rio to be processed by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. We know that Del Rio, Texas, I visited the area. It's an area that doesn't have the same amount of support from local officials and nonprofits compared to, say, the Rio Grande Valley along the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, Border Patrol tells CBS News it is increasing its manpower in the sector. This comes as Texas Governor Greg Abbott announcing today that he directed state troopers and the Texas National Guard to shut down 6 points of entry along the southern border. Then the governor reversed himself shortly after, faulting the Biden administration, who he says requested the state's help, given the influx on the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, CBP has stated the federal government has no plans to shut down any ports of entry. And obviously, we have seen an uptick over the past few days. But we should point out the number of apprehensions of undocumented migrants attempting to cross the southwest border dropped slightly in August compared to July's 21-year high. These numbers remain high, with U.S. authorities encountering migrants nearly 209,000 times in August. Still, encounters of migrant families with children increased by about 4% in August. More than 86,000 parents and children traveling as families entered into the U.S. custody. 80% of them were permitted to seek U.S. humanitarian protection. But still, get this, more than 18,800 unaccompanied minors, most of them from Central America, entered U.S. custody last month.
18,000 is just a remarkable number. Nicole, the Department of Homeland Security's Office of the Inspector General says the agency needs to enhance its COVID-19 prevention measures. So what are they planning?
Yeah, DHS's top watchdog found that without stronger COVID-19 prevention measures in place, the agency's putting its workforce, its staff, communities on the border, migrants at greater risk of contracting the virus. This report found overcrowding, lack of resources and uniformity in a COVID policy, that CBP was not able to maintain proper physical distancing in holding facilities due to the number of migrants entering the U.S. It also found that DHS's policy of relying on local officials to test for COVID-19 and quarantine migrants is simply not effective because local cities have no authority over these migrants. And as CBS News has reported, the federal government's reliance on local public health systems and nonprofits amid this pandemic to test migrants have left, some officials and volunteers scrambling to respond. The watchdog has issued 2 recommendations, which DHS vows they'll take up. The first is that it needs to obviously reassess its COVID-19 response framework. The second is a requirement that DHS and its Secretary Mayorkas, ensure that its components, so CBP, ICE, FEMA, have the resources they need to operate safely and effectively. What that will translate into in the coming months, it's a reality yet to be seen, but we know that CBP has been working on obtaining federal contracts to help test and vaccinate migrants.
Daunting challenges, it sounds like. Well, on Wednesday, the White House gave governors and mayors a heads up on the number of Afghan evacuees soon coming to their states and cities. Where are they headed?
Yeah, this is part of the first resettlement phase, which is expected to help about 37,000 Afghan refugees. California is expected to receive more than 5,000 Afghan evacuees, the most of any state. Texas is set to receive about 4,480 Afghans, followed by Washington State and Arizona, which are each slated to receive more than 1,600. Now, some states like Alabama and Mississippi are expected to receive just 10 evacuees as of now. Some states aren't even listed at all, including states like South Dakota and Wyoming.
All right, that situation continues to develop as well. Nicole Sganga keeping an eye on all of it for us. Nicole, thank you very much.
Thank you.